There we go. Yay, good evening, everyone. This is our weekly team call, the WoW Wellness AO Scan team call, and we are very excited. We've got a lot of exciting things happening tonight. We have our very first gold team member with us tonight, Sandy Harvey. This has been a long time coming, and we've got a video out if you haven't seen it yet. Go ahead and mute yourselves. We have a video out with Sandy sharing her journey and kind of some things that might have opened the floodgates for her. And Sandy, I am going to have you just say a quick hello and help me watch for new names and faces.
Yeah, I've been admitting some people as we go.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I wanted to do first is I want people to be able to make this so simple. They are not hesitating to tell people what they have because we have something that everybody can benefit from. Oops, let's mute some lines here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. The AO scan technology is so advanced. Any clinic should be using this, and many are, even in Western medicine, oncologists, surgeons, physical therapists, because it is so advanced, there's nothing that can tell them what this does, but it is also so easy that every single person on the planet can use it. And that's what I'm going to show tonight because I don't want people getting stopped up and tripped up thinking they have to be some kind of expert. They have to take all these classes and learn what all this stuff means. No, you don't. Let me tell you what I've been doing with my dad and my glam kitty. My dad had a stroke about 8 weeks ago, just a couple of weeks before I left for Australia. It's been devastating. He's completely paralyzed on the left side, and it's heartbreaking. And I was just running playlists. That's one of the first things that I was taught was making playlists and broadcasting them. Well, when I was in Australia, I talked with Lauren, who just had a stroke 3 years ago. And he said, Sheila, I had a stroke 3 years ago, and I too was half paralyzed, and I walked out in 3 days. I said, how did you do that? And he said, scan and optimize all day in my bed. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not doing that. I'm broadcasting what I think somebody needs when the technology knows exactly what they need because it just scanned them to find out everything that's going on. Yes, we can guess. We can take presentations and symptoms and kind of similar things that we know to go with certain processes. But what if you allow the technology to scan the body and give them back exactly what they're needing? So I began running body system. You don't have to have a voice for this. If they're in your scanner, they already have a profile. You've probably captured their voice with an easy scan or something at one point. If they're brand new, you might need to run the inner voice before you can do the comprehensive. But if you cannot get their voice, you can run it, remain silent, and keep your focus and attention on that person and what they have going on. That is sufficient. Now it's locked in there. Run a body system. I'm running all of them because there might be multiple layers of what's involved with my dad's stroke and the kitty's neurological problems that are causing her to fall over and not be able to walk straight and not be able to eat. I couldn't possibly unravel all these things. So after you run body systems, it automatically sends back exactly what they need to come back to homeostasis. Then I go and I run a comprehensive, and it's comprehensive, and it might take a few minutes. And then I push optimize. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Where did I put it? On there somewhere. Let's see if I can. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't already know how to log into your application, you can use a phone, an iPad, a tablet, your computer, whatever. I normally only use my mobile scanner, but app.aoscan.com is where you sign in. Okay.
Maybe.
Now we've got the profile here. Typically, I run easy scans on everybody, but when I'm working on a situation,
Hey, mister.
we need a mute. There we go. All right. Okay. Um, let's go ahead and start with the easy scan because this is the protocol that I am teaching, whether it's a practitioner, whether it's a friend or a family member or a patient. When you have your own subscription, you have so much power in your own hand. You do not have to look at the reports. You do not have to understand them. Don't even look at them. Run an easy scan because this is going to do your inner voice, your vitals, and then it's going to optimize you. So it's sending you frequencies back without you doing anything. And then it's going to run a comprehensive and it's going to optimize you again with a new set of frequencies based on those findings. Now, that to me is more effective than trying to play detective and guesswork and building your own playlist. You can do all that stuff later when you become more familiar and more comfortable, and maybe you have more time. For me, I really don't have a lot of time for this detective work, so this is really easy. Run this scan. If you happen to have supplements in your scanner, and if you don't, we have trainings on that, and we're happy to share those. These are some of the ones that I have. I'm just going to select them. I've got some therapies, and I like to run those. And then you start your scan. 43210, always say, I am Sheila Day. And I love my team. I love Solex. I'm so grateful for Lauren and the technology that we have to use and to share with the world. Okay, now that's going to run. It's going to take 6 minutes or so. But once this is done, well, we'll worry about that when we're done. In the meantime, I'm going to let that run for now. And it's kind of noisy. So once that's done, you've already received 2 sets of frequencies that your body needs to self-correct. You're going to have all kinds of information in the vitals report. You're also going to have pictures in the comprehensive. You do not need to mess with it. If you are a practitioner, that's great information. If you're a layperson, it might be confusing because you might not be familiar with all those terms. And what does all this mean? You don't need to worry about it. The system, the technology is taking care of everything for you. Now, if you're working with a practitioner, it gives them a lot of really great information to help unravel your case and maybe figure out some better ways to help support you. But a general layperson, this is all they can do. This is all they need to do every single day. When you get up in the morning, run an easy scan. Okay, there's going to be a little icon at the top right corner. Push that and it's going to email everything right to you. But you can also push play on your balancing harmonics and listen to that right from your device, whichever device you're using, or you can go open your email and click the link and listen from there. There are 2 different ways to work on to use the inner voice. There's the classic and the new enhance or the new pulse. And if you have questions about that, we can address that later as well. There are videos in the Facebook group in the guide section that explain both kinds, or you can just play with it. But listen to your balancing harmonics. If you have headphones or earbuds, that really is more effective. And I am so sorry I didn't think about that being so noisy. Okay. But if you don't have them, don't worry about it. Play them anyway. And if you will listen to those 3 to 4 times during the day, this helps to bring emotions back into balance. And when you're listening to this every day, you can see how your life is going to start changing because emotions are always trying to get out of balance. And that affects the way we communicate with other people, our job performance, our own physical health, the vibration that we're putting out to the universe. So that is a powerful piece right there. Plus, you've got a report for each one of those that are out of balance. There'll be 4 of them. When you read those, it's going to give you information of things that you can do for yourself. You don't have to be a detective. It's going to say, maybe you need some more sunlight. Maybe you should consider a chiropractic adjustment. You might need a parasite cleanse. So these are some things, if they make sense to you based on what you already know about yourself, you can be proactive and start doing that. Now you've got a spouse, possibly. you've got children, you've got pets. What if now you can run that same report on them every single morning, let them receive the frequencies that they need, and then look at the inner voice reports and see what kind of little things they could be doing. Maybe they need vitamin K. These are all little recommendations that are in there that allow you to start being more proactive with yourself. Now, I say this because even though I do share this with a lot of practitioners, I also share it with my patients. I expect all my patients to have their own subscription because they are now empowered to be able to do this for themselves and their families every single day. Nobody has the time to do this for people all day. We don't. So we want to empower the people we're working with, the people we care for, our family members to have their own subscription. And we want to make it so easy that if they would just run this easy scan every morning and then listening to their balancing harmonics a couple times during the day, and then at night doing mind sync. And we're going to go over that as soon as this easy scan is finished. Are there any questions on that so far? Sharon, you have a question? Unmute yourself. Oops.
Oh,
There we go.
where do you find that where you find you need a chiropractor? I couldn't find it the first time.
Yep.
Or
So
second.
let's go in and share the screen here. All right. So our scan is done, and this is what comes up. This is in the pulse tones. This is our new inner voice. This is the old one. Some people find this one much easier. So whatever feels good to you, use that one. Okay. I've gotten used to this one, but you can use either one you want. Okay. So from right here, you can play. Okay. You can adjust the settings. You can change the kind of music that's in the background. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please stop. Okay, good. Okay. And then these colors here, we recommend that people try to implement these colors throughout the day. If they have the colored glasses or if they have a shirt, maybe these colors, that just also helps. Okay. Then when you come down here, this is all the stuff you really don't need to worry about. It's just information. If you don't know what it is, do not look at it. Don't stress over it. Practitioners love this stuff. General lay people just really don't need to because your system is going to optimize you anyway. Now, this button right here, that your email
Where'd
will
you get
already
that?
be in here.
Where was that? That black button?
Okay, right up here at the top,
You're not here.
there's a little envelope.
I'm not sure where you're at. Oh,
Okay,
oh, I see.
right up at the top,
Tunes.
right at the
Pulse.
top right corner. Top right corner.
Of the chart?
No, of the screen.
Oh, way over there.
Way up top right.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I got it.
See the envelope?
The whole screen. Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
see the whole screen. Okay.
Push that. Your email will already be in there, or the email of the person that you're running a scan on, and you just click send. Okay. Now that's going to send the inner voice reports that you can look at. It's also going to send the link to listen to your tones. And it's also going to send the vitals and the comprehensive, and lay people just ignore them. It's not necessary. And let me go pull that up real quick so we can see that. Okay, now can you see my screen in email?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what you get in your email. Right here to review your scan report, you're going to click that link. And at the bottom are all your attachments. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all your inner voice reports. Can you see that one?
Yes.
Okay. So the top is always going to show what that color and note looks like when everything's in balance and when they're out of balance. So this is general. Everybody's going to get the same thing here. Down here is personal. This is individual. So imbalances and suggestions right here in the bottom right. Okay, it's going to give you some ideas of things that you could be doing for yourself.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so now you've received 2 sessions or 2 sets of balancing frequencies that the system has found you need to self-correct, or your body needs to self-correct. So that's literally like going to a doctor and getting 2 sessions of frequency medicine. You just got it for free in your own hand. Okay. You didn't have to
Yeah.
know anything or do anything. Okay. So my recommendation is this is so easy. Everybody on the planet can run this scan every morning for themselves, look at their inner voice reports, maybe do a couple of the things that are suggested, and listen to those balancing harmonics 3 to 4 times during the day. And then some people actually do this again in the evening. I personally don't have the time because I'm usually working on other people. But this is what I'm doing before bed now. We have a new module called Mind Sync. And this one, I'm getting a lot of feedback that people are not using this because they either don't understand it or they're having some kind of a glitch. So I really want to share this because this right here is changing my life in powerful ways. And I think that if everyone is using this, they're going to notice some serious shifts. You can feel it because our minds are playing messages all the time, and they're not usually good messages. We tell ourselves really negative things all the time. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough money. There's not enough time. I can't do this right. Just all those things are always playing. Well, that's very defeating. Now, with Lauren's genius of recording our voice saying, I am worthy. I am healthy. I am worthy of a good night's sleep. I deserve prosperity. I mean, there's just so many different affirmations. And when your cells hear your voice saying this all night long, you're drowning out all of those bad messages that are normally playing. So, of course, when you wake up in the morning, you're waking up just about a new person because your cells have listened to the truth about you all night long instead of those false messages that play without us. So in here, you've got the option of um, custom where you can say your own affirmations and it's going to record your voice speaking these. And then there's a bunch of different lists here that Lauren has made. And I've printed those out. If you want to print them out so that you can read them, that file is in our groups also in the guide section. But you can do I am affirmations or health, prosperity, memory, morning, evening, positive, self-confidence. I've done most of these except for the morning one. I don't think I've done that one, but I've done all the rest and they are powerful. So when you do that, you're going to push the record button. It's going to give you these. You can stop the oh, that's custom. Sorry, I pushed the wrong one. If we pick the I am, it's going to give you a list and you just speak these out loud. I am loved. I am grateful for another day of life. I am resilient in the face of challenges. So you just continue to go through that. You don't have to speak them all if you don't want to. You can throw in one of your own if you want to, but it's recording your voice because your cells know that voice. If you've done guided meditations with someone else's voice, me personally, I've never liked that. It's always just rubbed me the wrong way. Now, when I listen to my voice speaking, I feel my cells, I feel them respond. And my voice has actually changed since I started doing this. When I first started this, my voice was not very pleasant to listen to. And now it's a different vibration because my cells are now believing I am something different than what they're used to hearing all the time. Okay. Now, when you do this offset here, you're going to have to you're going to have to experiment with these. Low, medium, and high. There's not really a definition of these. You're just going to feel the difference. And you're going to feel like one doesn't really feel great and the other one does. And it may change from day to day and it may change from morning to evening. But when you're listening here, you're listening, you want to feel that resonance. And if you would use headphones or earbuds, your ears start hearing your voice playing this over and over, but eventually it's going to leave the ears and you're going to hear it right here in the center of your head. And that's where you're crossing over consciousness, where the conscious mind is what protects us. Like, I know I'm ugly, I know I'm not good looking. Those are things we tell ourselves to protect us. But when we start hearing the truth about what I am beautiful inside and out. And eventually your cells start resonating with that. And now you've broken through that conscious barrier and it just becomes you. Okay. So this is going to be different for everyone. Just test them out and see what you like. You can also adjust the music, the loudness of it. You can adjust your own voice, the loudness of it right there. And then here you've got a bunch of different background noises that you can use, from water flowing, which is my favorite, the ocean, the meadow, all kinds of different things. Experiment with those and see what feels good to you. And then you play it. Now, the first 5 or 6 times, it seems a little garbled. So if you will just keep doing it every day, after about 5 or 6 times, it gets more clear. If you're not getting good reception, check your Wi-Fi. That's been one problem that we've noticed. People that said it wasn't working, their Wi-Fi wasn't connected. So those are some of the things that can keep it from working the way that it's supposed to. But I can guarantee you, if you would just do this yourself and teach everybody you know to just run an easy scan every morning, listen to those balancing harmonics, take a look at the inner voice reports, and then at night, run MindSync. Do it a couple of times with the headphones until you feel that centering. And then I turn mine down and lay it on the nightstand, and I let my cells hear that all night long. And it is reprogramming me. It is so powerful. And I just want people to start using this because it can change their lives. Are there any questions? That is how easy this is to share with people. They don't need to get overwhelmed with all the different reports and what this means and what that means. They can figure that out later. This is where we start.
Sheila, I had a question. All right, so when you play it on your nightstand at night, do you play it right from that screen, or are you emailing it to yourself?
That's a great question. I never email it to myself because I'm doing a new one every single night and I play it right from my screen.
Okay.
Now, people that want to re-listen, that don't want to have to keep redoing it, they can send themselves the email because it will disappear. So you have to send yourself the email and then pull up the email to keep listening.
Okay, and then the other question I had was, so you said like the first few times it's like here, and then you hear it here. Do you, is it like a few days, or is it a few times you're listening, or like, because I don't think I ever really heard it here. And I haven't been doing it consistently, but
It's going to depend on the individual. I had the same situation. And for one, I wasn't allowing myself to be intentional and to be present. I'm really bad about expecting things to just work without me having to be involved. That's bad. So be intentional, draw in, and pay attention. And the more intentional you are, it's going to happen, or you're going to notice it, because it might be happening, but you're not aware of it. That's what I think my deal was. I just wasn't paying attention.
okay. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You are welcome. Any other questions? Sandy, do you have a tip or trick or both that you would like to share with people? Something interesting that you use your scan technology or any of our other products?
Yeah, I just actually sat down with a client today who just got her scan set up. And so I sat down with her today. We went over a lot of the same things that you just went over. So It was great. I think an analogy that I use sometimes with clients, because I do some like herbal workshops and things like that. And so one of the analogies I use is that, like, for instance, with herbs, people get overwhelmed because there's like a million different kinds of herbs, right? And so people feel like they have to know all of them. And then they shut down because they feel overwhelmed. And so what I tell people when I do these retreats and herbal workshops is I say, make friends with a few herbs. Like, make friends with two or three and really, really get to know those two or three, because it's much better to get to know two or three on a deep level than it is to get overwhelmed and not do anything, because that's what happens when we get overwhelmed, we shut down. So I look at this as the same way as what you say. Get acquainted with the inner voice, because I feel like that is the most powerful part of the whole thing. It's pretty easy, really. So do an inner voice and getting acquainted with that, getting used to that, making it part of your daily routine, you know, listen to those tones, like just start there, like make friends with that, make that part of your world, and start seeing how that begins to shift things. And then, just like you said, body systems, that's super easy to just hit that, you know, and optimize. That's really easy to add that in. And so find just a couple or two or three things that have the biggest impact, and let those become your friends every day. And then once you feel really comfortable with that, then you may say, hey, I'm ready to add this in now, because this is part of my routine. I feel really good with this. And then you're ready to add in something else. But don't feel like you have to know everything, or like you said, get overwhelmed with the reports and all that. And you'll see things begin to shift just by doing that. So kind of like herbs, just make friends with a few of those and incorporate that, and then go from there.
That is excellent. Thank you so much. That is great analogy. I love that.
You're welcome. It works for me.
Yeah, because it's breaking my heart, the people that I'm hearing from that either aren't using it because they're scared of it, or they think it's overwhelming, and they're certainly not sharing it with other people who desperately need this self-empowerment because they just think that they don't know enough. And you don't need to know anything except how to set up a profile, hit scan, and listen. That's all you need to know. It's doing everything for you. So with that easy scan, it has the inner voice, but some people, we just start them out on just inner voice. Okay. But if you yourself, because I have a lot of people that have chronic illness and they've been to doctor after doctor after doctor, and they've not gotten results or answers, and they want their scanner so that they can start finding out the truth, which they know what they're looking at typically. And if they don't, they just need to run their scans and trust the system. But now they can do the easy scan and then go run a body system. They don't have to look at the reports. Just let the system optimize you. Go run a comprehensive. Let the system optimize you. You don't have to look at these reports. You don't have to know what they mean. The system has just found out everything that's out of balance, and that it knows exactly what the body needs, way better than we would. So that's how easy we want to keep this, because the main goal here, you know, we do a lot of recognitions of our team. We've got an amazing team, but the point here is not keeping this to yourself, because there is a world out there looking for self-empowerment. We have systems that are failing them all over the place. We have systems that are not looking out for their welfare, and they're not even trained properly. I mean, let's get real. The medical system has been hijacked, and they're not trained appropriately to help us. And disease processes are getting more complicated because of all the things that are going on. People need to be self-empowered. I can tell you, if I was not a doctor and I was just a regular general layperson, I've already saved my family thousands of dollars and tons of stress just being able to run scans on them, look at some things that maybe could be going on and some recommendations of what they can do. I can optimize them, and I can build a supportive playlist and broadcast it to them. And I can find out, do they really need to go to the hospital, or can we handle this at home? Well, that alone has saved my family tens of thousands of dollars, because they haven't had to go to an emergency care out of fear because they didn't know what was going on. we can see for ourselves, is this a real emergency or is this something we can deal with? How amazing is that? And how empowering. We want to tell everybody because they do not know unless we tell them. I'm sorry, I'm just really passionate about that because I've been the underdog. I've been the one that hasn't had the power, and that's why I'm so passionate about empowering the individual. We have got to do that. And like I said, they do not know if you're not telling them. So please tell people what you've got, show them how easy it is, get it in their hands, and help them start using this for themselves and their families.
I had
Yeah.
this client today, actually, a few weeks ago before she got this, I'd shared this on our little one-on-one we did about hitting gold, which I would recommend if anybody hasn't watched that. I think we shared some pretty helpful things on that
Yes.
one, you know, at going at your own pace, but just some ideas about sharing. So if you haven't watched that, I think that would be a good one to spend a little time watching. But this client had contacted me. I was out of town and she'd had a panic attack and was just really, she loves oils. She'd done all the things and she was like, I cannot seem to pull myself out of this. So I had, she sent me her voice. I did in her voice for her, sent those to her, and also broadcast some frequencies for her. And I mean, it helped her tremendously, and she was able to go to sleep, get a good night's sleep. And actually today, when we were meeting, we just talked about that. I said, just imagine, I said, most of the time when that happens, people end up reaching for some pharmaceutical. And I understand that sometimes we got to do what we got to do. I get that. But I said, just imagine the difference to have a tool that you don't have to reach for a pharmaceutical, because I happen to have family members and know people who that has become a slippery slope. So, I mean, just if one person can realize how this could help them without having to reach for something that may have a lot of nasty side effects, or be addictive or whatever. I mean, imagine how that literally could change the trajectory of their life. I mean, that's pretty powerful. And that had a lot to do with her deciding to want to have her own device. So, yeah.
How empowering. That just changed her life.
Yeah.
So as much as I love building business and helping people become financially free and recognizing our people that are ranking, this team is on fire. We have one of the most powerful teams, the fastest growing with the best retention. But the whole point of this is because we are sharing with a world that desperately needs what we have. I don't want to work with a bunch of people that want to keep it to themselves because that's pretty selfish. People honestly need this empowerment. So that's where all the excitement comes. Yeah, Sharon.
Where is that video that she was talking about?
I'll tag you in it, sweetie.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You betcha.
You tag me too, Sheila.
You betcha. Shelly
you.
and Sharon. Yes.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, it is past, and I apologize for going over time. Tina, did you have a question?
Yes, I'm asked to be tagged also.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. You betcha.
Thank you.
You bet. There'll be a recording, and actually, I'll actually put the link in the email because I'll send this an email for everyone so they can watch it again as often as you need to. Share it with people if you need to. And Christina just coming on. I just want to say hi and tell her we're leaving now. But
Oh.
anyway, so I'll put Sandy's interview video in the link. Christina, it's great to see you. I'm sorry, honey, we're just getting ready to log off. Unmute yourself.
Whoops. Oh, okay. Well, I'll watch the replay. Hello.
Well, I'm glad I got to see your beautiful face.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to post, I'll send an email with the recording from tonight, as well as Sandy's interview from just hitting gold this last week. It's been very exciting. But we just want to simplify this so that we are sharing it with people and getting people empowered. All right. Thank you everyone for showing tonight. I appreciate you so much. And please get comfortable with this. If you have questions, don't hesitate to contact me or your upline, your sponsor. And we've got the Facebook group. You know, that's a really great sharing space for us. And I send out emails try not to overwhelm people. I try to keep them to once a week, just with the latest information. The Solex calls every Wednesday night are excellent. You can find that on the on YouTube, Solex LLC, and you can watch the last 3 years of replays. So anyway, I love you all so much. Please help me help humanity. Mwah. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sandy,
Thank
for
you.
your help.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.